Welcome back to Switch to Linux. So today I am going to do a little bit different than I usually do on Sunday. I usually do a tinfoil hat time. You can check out that series. And it takes a long time to do those, and I still need to take care of some taxes and stuff. And so I spent the day started with that, which was just wonderfully horrible. And then I went over into just doing some things on my KUbuntu computer, because that's where I do a lot of my finance type stuff. And I was having an issue with one of the software packages, so I pushed an upgrade, and then that took out the UEFI part of the computer, and so I ended up fighting that all day. So everything's back up and running, except I had a couple other snags in the day as well. So it's been one horrid day after day after day. And the tinfoil hat time series take a long time to research, and so I did not want to spend the time doing that, being as that it's almost midnight and I still have to do a video for a client on training on their system. What? Kitty wants to say hello. Say hi. Say hi. There you go. I still have to do a video for a client, training them on one of the systems. And so I just wanted to do something quite a bit easier today. And so we are going to, since KDE is already in my brain, and I've spent the last almost 24 hours just staring at KDE, I figured I'd go ahead and get the KDE Neon versus KUbuntu distro comparison completely out of the way. And while we're doing that, we'll walk through some of the solving some of the things that I was looking for solving. So thanks to everyone in the comments. I think all the questions that I had asked, all the little things that I had forgotten where they were all answered, including someone showing me that you can indeed turn on the system to work directly off the desktop, which I'm thinking might be a newer feature, or at least just not one that Linux Mint may not have never supported. I'm not sure, but this computer here, and like I said, I loved that theme I did yesterday, and so I actually took some time and themed this computer completely different. Let me see if I have enough camera space to get over there. This is the new computer, so same computer I was using the Oxygen theme. But now what we're doing is I use that nice, pretty much completely transparent type platform, which looks really awesome with all the widgets and stuff. The wallpaper is pretty cool. I used the glass icons from, these are from DeviantArt. You can find the link to them. Just did a lot of customizations. The other cool thing is I did figure out what was wrong with this quite by accident. I was thinking it might have been a driver, but you can see when you pull up the, what's this, the dash or whatever, I think? The dash launcher or whatever. If you don't have, I think it's OpenGL enabled, then you get a completely black screen there. And the other thing that caused is that it actually caused the menu bar, or the taskbar, to also be solid black. And so I thought that was just drivers, and so what I did is I came down into the system settings here, and when I came into my system settings, then down under display and monitor and under compositor, there was actually an item here that OpenGL was disabled. Probably that said because it failed to load at one point in time. And so all I did is check that box back on, and it worked out just fine. Of course, I added a lot of effects. I added some wobbly windows, which is something I've wanted to add just for nice effects. The inactive windows I made transparent. So I put a lot of cool theming stuff into this. Just so that computer is just like totally rockin' awesome now. So if you do like that, or if you guys want to see how I did that, enough people ask in the comments how I made the computer look just like that on all ends. I'm certainly glad to do a video about how I did all that and the individual pieces of software that I used. But anyway, I have been on KDE now for almost 24 straight hours, minus sleeping, working on taxes, and messing around with KUbuntu for my private files. So It's been a crazy day. I'm just going to do this version because it's, it's a lot less thought process than that. So, what we're going to do here is we're going to have a quick look at the website for KUbuntu, and then we're going to load up the distros. So, you have the option here for the 16.10 or for the 16.04 version. Now, one of the things that I had noted on the Ubuntu is that it did not give me a very modern version of KDE Plasma. And that I'm not sure if the 16.10 has fixed that, but what I did is I opted to use the 16.04.2 LTS download instead, because that is the same package base that KDE Neon uses. I'm not sure. Let's check the release notes for the 16.10. I'm most curious to see if they've updated the version of Plasma, because it's only 5.5 on. They're not going to tell me here, are they? No. If anybody is running KUbuntu on 16.10, which version of Plasma does it use? Let's see. Okay, it says here this is a 5.7 desktop, which is still a little out of date. This is Linux Mint runs 5.82, and I didn't do anything funky with that. That's exactly what the system wanted me to install. So it does look like even with the 16.10 release, it is still an older version. Of course, KDE Neon is 5.9, and so that's going to be your primary difference. The other thing I had actually noticed is that, and I'm not sure why, but it was a little bit more difficult to track down. I guess just clicking there for the alternate downloads is where you got your checksums. So I kind of would have liked to see maybe alternate downloads, torrents, checksums in that list link there as well, because I came over here and I figured, let's go check that out. But if you're already downloading the thing, then you're downloading the thing, right? And I totally forgot to see what size of the download that is. So let's have a quick look there. It's one of the things I forgot to do. Of course, I could probably just check my history, but KUbuntu, this is 1.6. So this is 1.6 gig, and remember that the Neon is 1.2 gig. So if you're looking for, the lighter weight, the Neon is certainly the more lighter weight version. So we're going to go into the Neon first. You can check out my video from yesterday for a whole lot more Neon. But what we're going to do here is we're going to boot into this guy, and then we'll do a quick walk around. And I'm going to show you how to, mostly first, just how to resolve the issues that I had a difficulty resolving yesterday. There's just things I forgot about. KDE is a pretty advanced desktop, and so you do want to keep that in mind, that it is. There's some things if you're not on it all the time. So you can see here that somebody did show me how to use the window view up here, which was nice. You can right click, you can create new files, etc. Let's see. So to do that, right-click, configure desktop and layout view. Desktop view gets rid of them. Folder view allows it. And this, though, is the problem is the KDE on Linux Mint, this option is not selectable. It exists, it's just you cannot change it. And so that's kind of sad. Linux Mint, you let me down. Anyway, but that's how you can do that. So change it to folder view, and then you can actually put your folders there and work off the desktop. The other item was here, if you want to swap the names around, right-clicking on your application launcher settings. Is this where it was? Show applications by name. Again, that order is slightly different on the... Or it was, I think I was looking at this on the other version of KDE. So now if you come over here, you'll see that it swaps the name and the application type. And so that's how to resolve that one. And what was the last one I was asking people about? Remember that whole list thing. If you have a list of things, you can remember X minus 1 items in that list, where X is the number of items in the list. And I'm getting to that. I'm sure it'll come to me, but there's one other thing I could not remember how to change or adjust, and I remember. It's how to double click instead of single click. And so for that, if you do want to restore the double click options, go into your system settings, input devices, mouse, and over here is the double click and single click. This is actually something that's in a lot of Linux distros. So even if you really like the single click option, and I like it for the KDE system for some reason, it works well with me. So if you do like the single click or the double click option, usually on most Linux distros, by finding the input controls in the mice, you can actually change that. So with that being said, just a brief reminder. First thing is the system. Remember that KDE Neon is going to be a whole lot lighter, and a lot of the comments people said, they released it not to be necessarily a full production thing, but a way and a means to test the absolute latest KDE stuff. Have not read enough into the documentation, know for sure if that's exactly right or not. But nevertheless, that is what some people were saying. So you can see here that we have 5.9.2 is the Plasma version, KDE framework 5.3.1, Qt version 5.7.4, etc. Kernel version's a little out of date. That's a little odd to me. So that is that. Again, I was actually able to install some software with this. I installed Kden Live. I'm not sure what was going goofy with it. It seems like it's not functioning kind of as it should. The other thing people had commented on with Neon is the not able to add PPAs. I was trying to think of a bridge verb there. I don't know. People not being able to add a PPA, and so I went ahead and I tested that by testing and installing OBS. Of course, to run this on most distros, you have to install a PPA. I think Farron OS has OBS in there, although I believe it's an older version. Well, at least it was last time I knew, about a week or so ago. They update the Farron OS system quite a bit, and so it wouldn't surprise me if it's actually working now. Otherwise, let's see. I was having difficulties getting things installed yesterday. Let's just give that a second. You'll see the task says 0, and it just kind of hangs here. It was still doing that a little bit. You can see it just loaded. Of course, I'm not able to see any close or anything, but and it's still there, sort of. All right, so it is actually installing stuff now. I have no idea what the difference is, and I know a lot of people were talking about the inability to add PPAs. If you can add a PPA in the GUI, let me know where. I looked for it. I could not find it. I didn't get online and do an internet search or anything. I just looked in all the places I thought were obvious. I was not able to find that, so I'm not sure what people were talking about with the inability to add PPAs unless there's some GUI thing that's not working right. I did not have an issue installing it via the command line. Maybe that's where people were having an issue, but it seems to work for me. So if it's not working, let us know. Let us know where you're installing it from, which PPA maybe. It might simply be a PPA that's not there anymore, but who knows. So I just went ahead and tested one that I knew worked, and that is kind of in a nutshell the Neon. Of course, the other thing is pretty much no software. So there's that. Of course, I'm talking, and the other kitty wants to come say hi now. Say hi. Oh, come on. Yeah, okay. This kitty wants to say hi now. Look at this. You got a 2-for-1 deal on the kitties today. You got 2 kitties on there. All right. All right, 2-for-1 deal. Can you say 2 for 1? What's your favorite KDE distribution? Okay. He doesn't know. He really doesn't care. He's like, whichever one gives me the softest bed and the tastiest kitty food. Right? All right. Oh, look at this thing. Oh, yeah. 1,000,000 likes for the kitty. 1,000,000 likes for the kitty. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Oh. Okay. So, there is KDE Neon. So let's go ahead and shut this down. And then we're going to pet the kitty a little bit more while it shuts down. All right. And now we're going to run up KUbuntu. So it looks like it doesn't detect the screen size. At least it didn't the last time I ran it. It was not detecting the screen size correctly. It was okay, just not perfectly ideal. It kind of squished some out of the top and the bottom. So you can see here that this is the older version of Plasma. Okay, it looks like it's capturing the right screen size this time. Alright, so I threw the oxygen theme on this one. Other than that, I was just seeing what was around. Are you on? Are you working, little bug? Well, it doesn't seem to be a desktop, but it almost looks like everything's working, right? Okay. For some reason, that desktop wasn't loading, but there it is. This is just like Neon. There really isn't a whole lot of themes, a whole lot of images. This is the only picture we have, so I hope you like it. Let me see, actually. There might have been... Nope, that was about it. Okay. Of course, you can always click to get new wallpapers like we did on the other one to grab the wallpapers. This functionality should be just about the same. One thing that I did find, I can't remember if it was this one or if it was on Neon, which one I was looking at. You could install all the wallpapers, all the themes and things directly from the software setting. There you go. There's some birds. Right? You see some birds? See the birds? All right. If those were animated, the cat would be going crazy. All right. So there is the configuration. Now, one of the maybe an advantage, maybe a disadvantage, depending on where you lie in these things. There is a little bit more software in this, like in the general Ubuntu fashion. We do have quite a bit of software. You know, they do a pretty good job. Canonical does a pretty good job of making sure there's a lot of software in the box. So there's a feed reader, IM contacts. Kmail is installed on here, conversation for the IRC client, KTorrent for your BitTorrents, SSH. We have the Amarok audio player, Dragon player, video player, the disk burning utility. So we don't have VLC on this. That's like Linux Mint did not have VLC. I want to say I installed it on there. Address book, contact. We do have LibreOffice installed. Then here's your settings. Oop, I did not mean to push the input method, but I did. So here's all of your settings. Oh, you know, that's something we didn't do. If you remember from yesterday, it was about, what was that, about 700 megabytes, I guess. So let's see if this one's running. About 900 megabytes. So as I did predict, the KUbuntu is a little bit system heavy. And I'm not sure if that's because it's due to running the older version of KDE. I know the later versions of KDE are a little bit more system light than the older versions. I know that's one of the things I noted on this computer. Linux Mint 18 did come with this same version of Plasma, and when it upgraded to 5.8.2, it actually resolved a lot of the bugs and made things work a little bit better. The major challenge that I discovered is the Software Center seems completely unfunctional. There's no software there. I mean, I looked through all these things. I couldn't find anything. So it's like something seems to... Oh, there's stuff here. Whoa. Stuff is actually showing up under fonts. Yeah, I was trying to look through here just to find anything, and everything just says 0 items. If I go up to installed, 0 items. It's like, I have no idea what's going on here, but... Apparently the Software Center in KUbuntu seems to be broken. I think somebody had actually made a notice of that as well. So if you're running KUbuntu, is your software center broken? Is this a fluke on my system? Yeah, I mean, you can see there's massive quantities of everything. Who knows? Maybe this is a function of we're running an old version of KDE that's not supported anymore. I don't know. I have no idea. Right click here, desktop settings. We can change to the folder view, so that's good. So we do have that option there. And all of the other options I looked at in this, and I looked at over in the Linux Mint KDE. So that's kind of your major differences. First is you have a lot more software built into the Ubuntu. It's a lot more system ready to go. And that's kind of the goal, because Neon, as some people have said, Neon is essentially built as a means to test cutting-edge software, kind of like Arch. But Ubuntu really tries to make sure that they have a system, at least they have in the past, try to make a system that works well, so a user can actually get on there and start to use it. And that's really one of those core things. So that is a really brief comparison, KUbuntu versus KDE Neon. If you were wanting to build this on a production system, you probably want KUbuntu out of the two, because it's more system ready, has more software. Unless, of course, you don't like the default Linux software. If you want to run WPS, then adding that to KDE Neon saves you a step of uninstalling the old one. The other factors that you will encounter, I think, a little bit more system heavy on the Ubuntu side. The software manager does not seem to work, although I did not try. Let me do that real quick. Let me just show you. Almost forgot. So here's the KUbuntu here. You see we have 5.5.5 Qt version, 5.5.1. Newer kernel version, though. Whatever reason, we have a newer kernel version on this one than we had on the other one. So that seems odd to me for the cutting edgeness. Looking for console. I just want to see if I can install something without any real issue here. Okay, so it looks like we're going to be able to install something without any real problem. And hey, let's go ahead and try and add a PPA as well, since I don't remember exactly where. I'll just do search. Oh, I guess that's another thing I'll mention is this version of KDE, the Windows Meta Key does not trigger the menu, and so you'd have to go and you'd want to go and download I think it's the K Super Key, I think it's called. No, don't do that. Stop snapping. Okay. I'm just going to look for OBS because I know where to grab the PPA real quick from that. Okay. Okay, so that did not seem to have any problem there. Oh, I hit the Windows Meta Key, expecting to have that open. Okay, so OBS. Whoa, Kitty just took a nosedive off the chair. All right, so PPAs do seem to work on both of them. As far as basic core functionality, other than the fact that the KDE Neon is the more recent version, I'll tell you, if you want a really good production system of KDE Mint, just because you have the more up-to-date the more up-to-date, stable KDE version in just as productive of a system. The only problem is it does not seem to allow me to use the desktop as folder options. I have no idea why. But other than that, if KDE is the desktop you want to go for, I'd probably just look at KDE Mint. You're going to have a lot more of the software, although a lot of the software is essentially the same. And again, some of the challenges, I'm not going to go through the bother of testing all of this, but I actually had some initial challenges getting this computer set up. I did not want to talk to the networks quite as nicely as some of the other computers have. I had to fight with it a little bit to be able to access the media servers, and I actually had to code the media servers into the startup menus versus my other computers. I've never had to do that. So I'm not sure if that would also be applied to KUbuntu. But there's your brief side-by-side comparison of the two. So if there are other side-by-side comparisons you'd like to see, or anything else that might be missing, or any other discussion, just go ahead and throw those in the comments, and we will have a look at those when we do. So with that, this has been Tom, and I hope that you enjoy switching to Linux.